We're back live. There we go. When last we left our intrepid adventurers, a bunch of glowing angel dudes showed up and asked for your help on finding a new hiding spot for the orb until they can have it either in a proper temple or create a temple for it that they can work their magic and protect it.
Let's say leave it at the temple of my goddess.
Oh, that was the other thing too. I was going to show you. Let me pull that map back up again because we had talked about putting some of your elements, but I was going to have you on the other island, on the other continent, in the southwest corner of. Let me zoom in a little bit. And on the eastern continent, I haven't done much with the naming and that stuff. That's all. So this is the only part I've really been working on is sort of the Valandian Empire and everything sort of in that southern and western ridge of that continent. I haven't gotten all the way over. I've been working on the cultures. I've got a lot of that set. I'm working on the states. I got a little bit done on the diplomacy. It's really cool how they how they track that stuff. So I'm trying to use as many of the tools that Asgard has built in, but it is a slow app to work with, especially when you're using a high point count map. It's scrolling and zooming is painfully slow. But once I get it done, I'm going to try to basically just do some renders of areas and not make it so much an interactive map, but that'll be more for me just on a planning and maintenance sort of thing. And then I'm just going to generate because I don't know that there's a good way to release it as a I guess you could, but people could just do whatever they want with it. So that might be an option too. Is I might just release it as its own thing, as an Asgard map, not just as a picture, and then people can alter it and modify it. They can add their own cultures to it. They can, that'd be kind of fun, I think, for GMs that want to kind of have a good starting base of a setting, but want to put their own crap in it. They can do that with this really easily. It's really easy to add more stuff. All right, but you're heading to Jaman first to kind of rest, regroup, and all that, and then we're going to decide where we're going from there. Correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
that was the plan.
All right, perfect. I'm just moving my map over to where you guys are. Bear with me. I'm almost there. Come on. There it goes. Okay, I'm almost to the coast. There's Garage. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Yep. I apologize. There we go. I normally just kind of keep it in one spot for the most part, but I had to zoom out to make those images quick. So there we go. Okay, I got her centered now. All right, so camping on the road or off the road for the first night?
You know, I'm all for some, living off the land and stuff, fellas, but do we really have to be off a bona fide safe place,
Yes, but at the same time, if we camp on the road, we might get bandits.
I think I'd rather bandits than be ambushed by demons.
The demons never get up on the road.
I don't think there'll be much aiming or bushing. I think we'll just be dead.
At least with the road plainly visible, we either have an escape route or a chance of extra helps if they so happen to show up.
Absolutely. Okay. So to the road, you guys are gonna be a little bit pretty tired. Like I said, you guys forced it on, but since you're taking the safe route, you can get all the rest that you need. Even sleep in the morning. But you're gonna be about 1 day's travel from Joman. Oh, and you know what's kind of cool with this setting creator or with Asgard's maps? When you create once you create all the cities and everything, actually when you generate the map, I'm just waiting for it to pop up. It actually creates the cities. It uses a sister app for it, and it creates like their emblems and it populates them. And it gives you some info on them and everything. It's like, and then all you got to do is kind of tweak it. That's what I've been doing is basically I let it generate everything, and then I'm kind of coming around and behind and changing the names so they sound a little better and just cleaning up some details and stuff. But for whatever reason now, it's not letting me. Okay, where's that little button that lets me download the map or save? Where's that install button? Hang on one second. It's not letting me select the town map for some reason. But like I said, yeah, the road is fairly safe. You're going to see the occasional merchant caravans. The guards you probably run into like little small escorts. They're usually like 3 to 5 on horseback at a time, and they're pretty keep to themselves. They don't really they don't hassle people or bother anyone. They're not definitely not bothering you guys. You're flying under the radar just fine, so that's not a problem. I'm still trying to get this to pop up. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. That's why I don't like zooming in and out of this map because once you start playing with it, it just slows down so bad. Okay, so I'm just going to have to wing it for now. So, like I said, if I remember right, Jovan is about 17, 1,800 people. It's a for the size, even though it's a very not a large city, it is a walled city. It's kind of the center of this particular area, and I can't access my stuff, or I would tell you which group it belongs to within the Valindian Empire. But it basically, there's the Valindian Empire is broken into several regions that are sort of run by different barbarian tribes that are all under the same flag, but they sort of operate kind of like dukes. They pay a tithe. They help out with military and things like that. But they're fairly autonomous in how they operate locally, if that makes any sense. I'm just gonna have to open it up in another thing because it's completely locked up now. So, is there anything you guys would like to do now that you've arrived at Jovan? Like I said, it's a pretty normal town, walled city, lots of bustling trade. There's one main road that goes through. You're about 3 days from the coast, so you do see a pretty diverse array of peoples and types here, even though you're a little bit inland. Um, it's still a very popular trading point. The Jovan is really well known for their blacksmithing. Um, so that's kind of how they're on the map, and they do a lot of trade with the cities to the west. And I'm just babbling while I'm waiting for Asgard to reopen. So is there anything you guys want to do?
So, you guys hear any good stories or anything? I mean, I'm trying to entertain myself. It's kind of boring walking around here with you guys.
Hmm.
I mean, I will admit I've never smelled such diverse BO since I got on his trip, but good lord, there's like a lake right over there.
But I guess that is sort of a interesting question. Whatever amount of time we have spent around in this area, have we heard about anything interesting?
So you would have that's why I wanted to get at least some of the area map stuff because you guys would have some idea of the area. You would know like like some of the major cities. You'd know some points of interest and things like that. So I'm trying just loading. It's going here. Bear with me. There it goes. Alicia, where are you? There you are. There are 3 areas on the map, and I don't remember which one I which one has the best representation of it from the ones I put in the chat. But if you look east um, of Jovan, there we go. There are three symbols on the map that look like keys, like old style, like skeleton keys. There's a big yellow and white like distance marker. They're kind of by that, the east of Joman. Those are somewhat well known sort of ruinous areas that have not been explored. Um, they're in remote areas. I wouldn't have a whole lot of details till you wanted to actually kind of do some search. I wanted to kind of just show you kind of where they are on the map. Can you guys see where I'm talking about? Let me go to our pop out. If you look on either of the first map that I posted would probably be the best one because yeah, you can see all three of those keys. So you can see where you are in Jovan, east of the lake, sort of on the left half of the map. And then sort of in the middle-ish of the map, you'll see there's three circular icons that have key logos or key images. Those are three areas that you would know just with your background and the kinds of things you guys engage in. Those are three potential sites, at least in the local area. They're each about the furthest one is probably about a week's travel east. That one at the top is probably 3 to 5 days. Maybe it's about a week and a half to the one to the outside. If you look at the lower right hand corner of the image, it does have a scale bar on the bottom. Um, wow, that really blows up big on when you open up in the browser, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow! Yeah, so if you go all the way to the lower right hand corner, you can see roughly what the scale is on the map. Unfortunately, you got to move around a lot, but it does give you. There we go. So I would say, yeah, to get to that sort of dividing line that is east of the first key there, that is probably about 60 or 75 miles. Um, and then north to there yeah, so it's probably I would say 4 to 6 days to the closer locations, and probably about a week and a half to that one that's to the east. If there's stuff you want to if you want to do any investigation to learn more about those particular areas, to uncover more stuff, or I know that Doc had also mentioned maybe taking the orb to his temple, which would actually be quite a journey. That would involve probably getting on a ship and doing some traveling by sea to get to the other continent. It would definitely
I
give
mean,
you some distance from the demon, but
you can always take it to Carl's temple. We just put it in a nice metal box and forget about it. Carve some runes on there. Evil things touch it. Bernie, Bernie. Everybody wins. We'll go back to normal life.
All right.
Oh, it's close. So, the temple that he goes to, one of the temple of my goddess.
Well, I'm not sure where we're putting Carl on the world map. I do know, like I said, go ahead.
Everywhere. Just pick a random place. Hey guys, it's over here.
So if you want to trust it in a random temple somewhere, you could probably find one. Let's just, to make it fun, I'm trying to let my map is being screwy again. We'll say that there is a temple in Katir, which is on the coast, sort of west-northwest of Joman.
Where is this Joman you speak of? I have it all blown up and everything, but I don't.
That little blue lake that's on the west end of the map, on the west side of the map, just inside of the coastline there, there's a kind of a bluish blob in the center. That's the lake. Joman is right to the east of that.
Okay. I'll have to take your word for it. I guess my color blindness is hurting me at this point.
I'm
I'm
not
just like,
thrilled with the colors on this map, to be honest with you, when I generated this one, but
it's like there's lots of blue blobs. This one.
Bluey blubs.
I'm looking at the wrong map. That's why. There it is.
So, and honestly, if you were going to go to Doc's homeland, um, you could go to Katir or Garag. Either of those cities are port cities, and you could leave from there. So you've got a lot of choices on where you'd like to go. I will say there's a temple in Katir for Carl. There is those three locations east of Joman if you want to keep it in the area, or if you want to completely get out of the area, you could take it to Doc's temple on the other continent.
Or, here's an idea, guys. There were some ruins and things that kept the demons away, I'm guessing, some magic or something. I'm sure we could put it in a container that the demons couldn't necessarily touch. Then all we gotta do is sail out in the middle of nowhere in the ocean and dump it. Then we can't find it, they can't find it. And maybe the whole ocean will become holy water. Who knows?
Option 6.
I mean,
I still say take it to one of the major temples of my goddess.
all right, but if
I
she
may
says to
not-
dump it in the ocean, I'm gonna have told you so.
I may not know much about demons, but I do not think they'll care about needing to breathe underwater.
It's not breathing that's the problem. It's the other things that live in the deep that they'll have to worry about.
How do they won't just corrupt those things?
Well, it's not the fishes. I mean things older than the fishes. But don't worry about that. That's for my scrolls and things. Hey, forget. Let's just keep going.
Now you are making me think if a sea serpent could defeat a demon.
It probably could.
It could be fun to watch. Pay-per-view.
What's pay per view? I'm gonna pull out the map. What's that?
What is pay-per-view?
Right.
Like this. Watch. I'm gonna poke on the back of the map, make it 3D.
So the only downside is to get to Katir. The easiest way would actually once you you hit the road to Joman, it would actually we already got you in Joman. So actually that'd be a good place to rest up anyways. You probably weren't going to want to spend days on the road as tired as you guys were.
No.
But unfortunately, to get to Katir, you need to head back south towards Garag. There's only main road that goes there. There's a three-way sort of junction just east of Garag that goes straight up the coast to Katir. Or there are some lesser known routes that you could try to take that go or counterclockwise around the lake to Joman that go to Katir, much shorter, but not going to be a patrolled, guarded road. There's not going to be any hostels. So it's just like if you want to take the main highway, you'll go south from Joman towards Garag and then head north to Katir. If you want to save some time and increase risk, you could take the less beaten path uh, out north out of Joman, following the lake and then going straight to Katir. Basically, if you take the first route, estimating probably about a week to get to Katir. If you take the back way, it's probably going to take about 3 days. But like I said, it's not protected. It's not as patrolled. There's not as much traffic. There's more weird stuff. Oh, and this entire coastline is kind of swampy, also. So keep that in mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do another blow up map here. Try to get into the area right where we're talking about. I'm just waiting for it to zoom a little bit. There we go. Let me just move it this way. Oh, that's too much. Well, actually, let me back it out just a skosh. The one nice thing about the map, if you're kind of patient and you only scroll like one click at a time, it's fairly quick. But when you go brrr and try to have it like zoom in a bunch, it takes like 5 minutes for it to zoom. So, all right, let me go ahead and capture this real quick, and then you'll have a pretty good map of the area. There we go, and we'll save that in here, I guess. I'll just cancel that, and then I'll just go to my chat, pop it out. Okay, here's the latest. That's kind of a zoomed in area. Once you guys can open it, you'll see that Jovan is right to the east of the lake there in the center of the map. Katir is kind of up by those pinkish trees, west-northwest. And then Garag is southwest on the coast there. So as you can see, if you want to go to if you want to stay on the main roads, I don't have the main road, the coastal road. I haven't inked that one in here yet. But if you would go south towards Garag, and then you can see where there's a fork there at just about 15-20 miles outside of Garag. That's where that northern coastal road goes up and goes straight up to Katir. Otherwise, you could take the less traveled road north out of Jovan and follow counterclockwise around the lake, and then basically just head kind of west northwest to Katir. Or you could just continue on to Garag and just leave from there if you don't want to stop by Carl's Temple. You could just leave, you could sail out of Garag because that's a port city as well. There's just not a Carl's Temple there.
They can't all be the best city ever, right?
So I'll leave it to you guys. But while you're in Joman, I just wanted, was there anything that anybody, how long you guys wanted to stay, or is there anything you guys wanted to do?
What are some of the like more points of interest with this village that just kind of pop out that
Be right back. Gonna go to the restroom.
All right.
that someone could be interested in?
So
Does it really have that much of anything?
there's a few things. North of Joman, there's rumored to be some kind of weird. It looks like a ruins, but no one's ever been able to actually find it because every time they sort of get close to it, it seems to move further away. Um, and so people have just kind of considered it sort of cursed, and it's sort of an abandoned thing. But it is due north of Joman, probably a few days' journey. Um, and then those points of interest, there wouldn't be a lot of common knowledge about them, but there there's a I'm trying to open it so I can read it. Hang on, there we go. Why won't it let me? Oh, there we go. So there's a shrine northeast of Jaman. That's that first key out if you're on the kind of more zoom back map. It's the of the three, it's kind of the most northern of the three keys on the map. That is a former shrine. Um, you'd have to do some investigation if you want to try to get a little more information about it. That's all they really know about it. It was the only other thing I guess I might want to mention is it was rumored to have belonged to some famous general of the people that were here before the Valandians sort of coalesced and joined together and created the empire that is today. And then there is, you have to bear with me because I have to do these one at a time. And then the one that's essentially due east of Joman, that was a hall that was destroyed in a battle. But there is said to be something um, sort of magical about the place. but nobody's ever any. There's been no reports of anyone sort of going there, getting a haul and coming back. There's of course been travelers that have sort of created a base of operations in Joman and left to go towards this lost haul, but they've never returned. So either they went elsewhere with their wares, or something happened to them. That's the one that's due east. And any one of these that you want to like investigate or try to learn more about, we can certainly do that. I'm just trying to give you sort of a common knowledge overview. And then the one that's kind of southeast of Joman was a former chapel um, that was said to belong to one of the early tribes here, um, and those are probably the three biggest points of interest in the map on the map currently. And now that I'm on my proper map, I can tell you the exact distances. So the first one that I mentioned that's kind of northeast is about 100 miles from. Why can't I click off that? Oh, that sucks. Give me a second. It won't let me click off I can't make the little thing go away, so I got to trick my map so I can give you the distances. So the one that's to northeast is about 100 miles. The other one's almost double that, straight as the crow flies. And now I got to zoom out because I can't reach my marker anymore. And the one that's to the southeast is about 130 miles from Joman, sorry. Other than that, like I said, this is kind of a popular place for the blacksmithing here. There are some hills right due east or sorry, due southeast that where they do a lot of their mining. Other than that, it's not really known for much else. Let's see, what else? What's this thing? No, that was a different thing. There is rumors of a ruined ancient city southeast of Joman, about 180 miles southeast. But nobody really knows anything about it. That's pretty far. Most of this stuff is, anything beyond 25 or 30 miles. Most people don't venture. So not a lot is known, but obviously there's going to be in a place the size of Joman, there's going to be at least a few people that probably have some idea of some of those things in more detail. So if you wanted to spend some time researching that, certainly you'd probably get some information from people inside of Joman. Oh, and I finally got the map to pop up. Now I'm just trying to remember how to go to it. Oh, I did it. I figured it out. All right, so
Yeah, you did it.
Let me copy that, and I'll paste it into our chat. So lots of options, but it has been relatively quiet. Getting to Joman, you haven't noticed anything unusual. Nothing big going on in the town itself. Nothing drama wise or exciting. So if just let me know what you guys want to do from here.
Well, I already had my initial interest with what it's in what found out the orb, though the rest of the stuff with the orb is interesting to me. But I'm going to let the holy man handle that shit.
Okay.
I'm so grateful you would
holy
refer to me.
I like the air quotes.
Are we sure he is a holy man? That he is a holy man?
Look, I got at least 3 holes in me, not counting the nostrils. I'm holy enough. Let's go.
And who has the more powerful deity in church?
It's not who has the most powerful one, who has the most well-funded. All right, let's do it.
Meanwhile, I think I'm mostly gonna go, like walking around the village and see if I can overhear
Oh,
like
Mr.
interesting.
GM.
Hang on. Go ahead and finish up, Gus.
I said I was gonna like walk around town so I can overhear any interesting factoids, interesting words of the day.
Just trying to get a feel for what's been going on kind of locally.
See if see if anything weird has been happening since we've got the orb and the demon started moving around. Make sure like nothing got a bit like off kilter in the local area.
Perfect. Yeah. So go ahead and give me an investigation check. I think I got your characters up here. Yeah, I do. Yay.
Investigation.
Listen to this guy being the best member of the party.
Oh,
There's a good thing I got a +2 in investigation.
Nice.
Two.
Nice. All right.
Great.
So there hasn't been anything too unusual as far as the average going on, but you were while you were passing through kind of the market square, you did overhear a couple of merchants starting to talk about some really strange individuals that were asking really weird questions on the road leading coming from Garag to Joman. Um, and what the reason it kind of caught your ear is one of them said that maybe it was the ale or maybe it was just a lack of sleep, but he could have sworn when he was talking with these two guys that their eyes were flickering kind of reddish. It kind of gave him the creeps. He thought there was kind of something weird about them. He gave them the information they were asking about, which is basically how to get to here, but they haven't seen them since they've been here. They were there talking about like because they were like, yeah, that guy really gave me the creeps to that. Well, did you tell anybody? Yeah, and well, have you seen him around here? No, we haven't really seen anything. So you're kind of picking up bits of the conversation. So it's somebody they met on the road outside of Jaman, but it's and that kind of gave them a weird feeling. But they haven't seen him here, in the town since they've been here, and it sounds like they've been here for a few days.
Okay.
That's about the only thing that really perked up, and I really kind of had to make that up because you rolled so well. So
That's the best
I wanted to
GM
give you
stuff.
something.
Like, damn, I wasn't expecting them to actually roll so good with this.
Yeah, and actually, you gotta take the time to I'm like, oh, they're just gonna beat feet to wherever and secure the orb, and oh, we're gonna hang out for a little bit. Oh shit, okay.
Well, you see, that's the thing. I did that to him last time, and I'm actually going to bring that up. So on the way back before we get to Jaman, when the other guys are doing their whatever, I'm going to take out the artifact that I found and practice with it so I know how it works.
Just, just get this new all-powerful magical thing. I'm just going to stick my dick in it a little bit.
It's not big enough for that.
So you're basically kind of examining the orb and kind of
no, the magic item I found. The one with the laser beam.
I didn't put any. That was at the end of the last session, right?
Yeah, remember I rolled the legendary to find a magical item, and you gave me that one that could be a torch for 8 hours, or it blasts for a serious wound.
Oh, right. Sorry, don't have my notes up right now. I think I did make a note of that somewhere. I think was it on your character sheet?
Yeah, I couldn't put it on my character sheet because my computer won't save it for some reason.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so I might have it on yours. Hang on one sec. I think I did, but I didn't.
It'd be cool if it's a ring. What's it? Hey, does anybody know what this name Sauron means? Whatever.
Yes, it means he who is a annoying edgelord.
Oh, well, I am greedy enough. Oh, wait a minute.
Literally, he is absolutely covered with edges.
That's true.
That's true.
But he is looking sharp.
It is just aesthetic.
All right, so the device you found You because there's literally it was you rolled and we had to just it was a spontaneous sort of impromptu thing, um, but it was a legendary. So what would you like it to be? Like what did you find? Is it a ring? Is it a staff? Is it a amulet?
You know, um, let's say it's a ring.
A ring. Okay.
Okay. Um, it is a legendary. It's an artifact. It's a holy artifact, right? It's light,
Correct.
right?
That's correct. It's light
Mm.
based.
It has positive vibes.
Positive energy. Correct.
Man, I really wanted to be like, it is light. It could technically bend light and make me invisible. Just have the one ring without it being the ring. Anyway.
Oh no,
Oh.
Carl, the invisible cleric.
Yeah, Carl, the invisible cleric, is like, can't help notice you dropped some money there. What was that?
um,
Um,
What chicanery can this arouse?
exactly.
can it be? Yeah, can it be some kind of ring? You know how I have the jug of holy water that I took from what had been around, like basically basting in the holy orb.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, because there's a pool of that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I took it in a jar. And whenever you drink it, it reduces what is it? Stress by 1, like whatever stress level, because the holy kind of heals you.
Right.
Um, Is there any chance that the ring could have some kind of protective? Because I remember you gave it 2 effects, like a passive effect that's once per day or a powerful effect that's once per day. Is there any chance that it could be something protective in nature?
Hmm. So we've
Like for
got it to act as you can use it as a light source for 8 hour up to 8 hours, or a single blast. I
Mhm,
think we're doing up to for a critical wound, right?
mhm.
And
Yes.
then you want it to have an additional feature,
Um.
or are you looking to,
Yeah, I was.
or are you wanting to combine the stuff you found with the ring and do something extra with it? Or I guess I'm not getting what you're saying.
Oh no, you had asked. I thought when you asked me what you wanted to do, that I was able to think of the effects on it. I didn't know we were keeping the other ones. I misunderstood. You said,
Oh
when
no,
you
I
said
meant
that, you
what
meant.
I was giving you. It is a ring of light. It does have those two things, or it's a ring. I was letting you decide what it is, like a ring, an
Oh, okay.
amulet, a staff, a
Oh,
sword, whatever. I wasn't too particular
oh,
about
okay.
what it was, but it is a ring of light. It's kind of tied to the whole theme thing.
Cool.
If we're going a little meta. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, so it's going to give you 8 hours of light or a single blast for a critical wound of light energy. Now the light energy works as an aura blast. So
Okay.
technically, it'll harm anything, but creatures of shadow or void, things like that, it's going to do additional damage.
Awesome. Um, cool. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Um, does that light repel? Like, say I had like the ring giving off light, right?
Hmm.
Would that repel creatures of shadow like demons, like just immediately around me?
That's a cool idea. Let's say it gives them a -1 to any direct actions to you, or let's just to make it fair, we'll give them sort of a will check at a -1. Anything you encounter, if they fail, they flee, but if they don't, they kind of are over to kind of ignore it. But it at least gives you the chance that, especially like lower things like imps and little like smaller, less powerful things, probably just make them scurry away. But like Nepharax, it's probably not going to turn him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So
But I
we'll say
just
it's well, yeah, we'll also say see also protects versus void creatures, -1 to will check for creature to resist. Otherwise they flee. So they won't just ignore you or just focus on somebody else. They'll be freaked out enough about it. If they fail their will check, they'll just flee. They'll try to do everything they can to just get away from the entire area.
That's good, because Carl's a coward. Don't tell anybody I said that. It'll just be like, "Bing. Go away, shoot." But I'm gonna try to learn how to use both those effects as I'm like going back to town, so I don't accidentally be like, "Hey, high five, blast it."
Right. Oops, sorry about
Bummer.
that. Sorry.
Don't want a negligent discharge over here.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want some trigger discipline, so to speak.
Exactly. And since Eldris rolled so well on his investigation check and gained some uh, very detailed knowledge,
Very interesting insights.
we are going to say, just for fun, that after overhearing this and doing all your sort of eavesdropping and just trying to get a tune and you're sort of getting your vibe for the city, um, as you're walking past a small shop, two men come out of it. That for the timing as you're walking by, you kind of make eyes, and you could have sworn you saw a little flicker in their eyes as they kind of looked at you in a moment and then just kind of dismissed you and just they went on their way.
That's not concerning at all. Not in the least bit. Hopefully no one sees me just try to meet back up with my group nonchalantly.
Just gonna walk back real slowly. Hey man, what you doing?
Just gonna get out this situation real quick.
And like I said, you made eye contact for a moment, but they didn't seem like, oh, he's one of like there was no recognizing or it was just you made eye contact, you thought you saw it for a second, and then they just
what's the name of the shop they wanted? Did they go inside the shop?
they were coming out of the shop as you were
They're
walking
coming
by.
out of the shop.
Yep, and it was an apothecary.
It's an apothecary. Where are they headed to? Are they going like into like an alleyway or something?
They looked like they're headed just towards the market you were just leaving.
Market. All right. I'm just going to keep walking the direction I was heading towards and make note of the shop.
Okay.
And then when I feel there's a way to just like an opportunity to like go off to the side out of eyesight, I'm going to do that and then see if I can make my way back to anyone from the group.
Okay, and since you're being so careful, you're able to notice that when you were able to kind of glance back and keeping an eye on them, you never noticed them looking back towards you. They seem completely unconcerned, and eventually they just sort of kind of blended into the crowd of people as they were making their way through the market.
And what was the color of the light that flickers? Red?
It was reddish. Yep.
Yeah, okay, gotta make a note of that. Yeah. When I feel that I'm actually in the clear, I'm gonna see if I can try and hunt down one of the other player characters.
Okay. And while everybody's kind of scattering and doing their things, what is Doc up to?
I just go along with them.
With Carl or with Eldris?
Call because I don't trust him not to get in trouble.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean, winky face?
That sounds like a good plan.
Oh, please, I hope what you did at one of the temples of my goddess is what the priestess is.
Gotta be a
look.
Carl.
There you go.
Carl.
How dare you enter the woman's camp?
That's like going to be the drinking game called Damn It, Carl. Damn it, Carl.
Yep.
Everybody drink.
Friggin'. It just reminds me of a dialogue, like a snippet of dialogue from Shin from Diablo 3 about Decker Kane. One of the things we could agree upon is the virtue of Zakarum priestesses.
Right?
That's true.
That's true.
In a test. Damn it, Carl. All right, everybody drink.
All right, so I'm just getting organized here. I made some notes because I wanted to update Carl's sheet here so I don't forget. Come on, load. There you go. Surprisingly, everything has been working tonight. So,
That's
not me. I
amazing.
apologize. I'm sick as hell, but I was not gonna make this happen. This was happening if it was even if I was gonna have to fly solo. So I'm getting back on track. So I'm hoping to be in the market for a computer here soon. It probably won't be for like a month or so, but if I can keep limping this baby along and maybe not taxing it so hard, I think I'm gonna be okay for a little bit here. Whatever they did to sort of get my stuff cleaned out, it seems like it's working better. So I just wanted to mention that on this side, things have been fairly painless and fairly smooth, except for Asgar's, but that's always been a thing. Oh, and that's part of my problem. I've got it open on two browsers. I just realized that might have had something to do with why it was going so slow.
Maybe.
Maybe because I've got my main Discord or my main Roll20 is in Edge, and I'm using Firefox for the player view that's streaming. So that way it's I like doing that because then the people are seeing what you guys are seeing. I could just be lazy and just post mine, but then it's kind of a spoiler anyways because they can see the DM map. So trying to make it work that way. I'm not sure what the best way to do that is because I don't know if some people just follow certain players or they use their view or something, but that's the way I've always done it is just kind of create a player map and then I can just sort of keep an eye on it and try to keep it in frame. So I don't know if there's a better way to do it. If there is, somebody let me know. All right, so where were we? So, oops, I just minimized the wrong window. So we've got so Carl and Doc have been together. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get to my. Oh, and I just closed it. Asgars.
I'm gonna look down at Doc's hands. It's like, Doc, anybody ever told you got some big meaty claws? Good lord.
Well, I'm built like a brick.
It's true.
I mean, I've seen bricks. They don't stack them as high as you. Goodness.
All right, I am loaded. There we go. I'm just got to zoom in a little bit so I can see where the hell we were.
Well, like Kyoto does have a great guts.
True that. Okay, so while you guys were doing your thing, we'll say a couple hours. I would say probably a good chunk of the morning was spent with Eldris. You know, kind of just get a looking around, listening around, knowing who to be standing near for certain conversations, and picking up on things. So we'll say it's about lunchtime when you guys reconvene. Are you guys staying? There are a couple of places here. It's a big enough town. We've got a couple options for places to stay. Were you staying in the city proper?
That's a good
Sure.
question.
I mean,
I guess.
I'm not going away from my meat shields. I mean, my friends.
Protect me.
Protect me. I'm fat and kind of squishy.
How much do the inns around here run for a room for the night?
So the cheap inns are literally going to be like a terrible amount per night. I'm sorry, abysmal. And the nicer rooms are terrible. So there's not a huge jump, but the nicer rooms you're definitely going to have better locks on the doors. They've got actual people that keep an eye on the place. The seedier in, you're taking your chances, but you'll have a bed to sleep in.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, your good friend Carl got a whole chest full of gold last time. Guys,
Yeah,
we could go kick the mayor out of his bed. I mean, where do you want to stay?
I mean, by raw relative economic value.
I mean, and I'm gonna hold up the bag of the bag of rubies I found. Also, I mean, come on.
Living large, you guys can get the suite.
I mean, I'm not gonna let anybody know. It's like, guys, huddle. I mean, look, we got a chest of gold and we got these rubies, but don't say it too loud because there's lots of thieves around here. Also, guys, I got this. I just found out what it does today, but isn't it cool?
I think it would probably be best for us to find a place that is very secure before we start getting into details about what has happened to that temple.
That's true. We need a place that doesn't have any windows, because the walls have ears. You know what might actually be best? You know what might actually be best, gentlemen? I know a pretty good stable around here. I know it sounds silly, but horses and animals, they make a lot of noise and they kind of muffle voices. Hay is pretty comfortable. We could get one of the empty stalls, put a crap in there and talk, and the animals will make any kind of noises if anyone gets too close, because they get spooked easy. I mean, and they have guards that have to protect the horses and stuff, so if the animals get spooked, they're going to alert guards and they're going to alert animals. We got 2 levels of defense before they get to us.
And it would also be best to find a place that doesn't have a lot of movement allowance. Many eavesdroppers won't go to places that have low amounts of exit strategies.
And a stable has very low exit. 1 entrance, 1 exit.
So would you guys like to find somebody in town who has a stables that can keep things, basically keep a secret, keep on the down low, and be well recompensed for giving you guys a nice quiet place to be? Or are you just gonna find a stable and just sleep in it? Or
I think the best bet would probably go to what looks to be either a very rundown or very well established like a tavern or mead hall, and just give the good coin to get some information about, like down low secure places to be.
Okay. That'll work. So there are several taverns in this town. There's 2 or 3, we'll say. And are you looking for seedy or are you looking for fancy?
Honestly, I think when it comes to what we're looking for, seedy might be best. What do y'all think? Like, who else knows is going to have the good info?
Yeah, that's probably the better way to go for keeping a low profile.
Sometimes it pays being a spirit spy,
which is going to put you on the north side of town there in the old town. So give me a context check.
Ooh, I do not have good contacts. Anyone have good contacts?
I do.
Carl.
Not good as in like +1, kind of like at like a decent level of.
Hey, James, can you link me my character thing real fast? Take a look.
I got a -3. I was actually hoping to use level ups to increase that.
Let me see how I can do that. Let me save it quick.
I think I have a 1 in contacts.
Okay, I got a demo. You're kidding me.
Carl's terrible at contacts.
Would everyone knows Carl be able to help in this situation?
Yeah, I actually made that was one of my things, is it gives me a bonus to it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So should it be, because I've got it as terrible on here. So do you want to raise that up a little bit?
I can. I just thought that it was kind of like I was taking it at terrible, and then my specialty was everyone knows. Like my bonus was everyone knows Carl, so that would make it fair. So not really, kind of like a mid-max. Getting everything to fair. You know what I mean?
Well, you'd need to at least be at mediocre, because the talent that everyone knows Carl thing. You're wanting that as a talent, right? Like as a benefit talent. So
yes.
So it would. That's not really.
Everyone may know me, but they may not think well of me.
Okay, I like that. We can work with that. So basically, when you're doing the sort of flexing your celebrity, hopefully with somebody new. It's gonna in that instance, your contacts is fair. How's that? And then we just let it play out how it's going to play out. But
Yep.
again, for just normal stuff, just normal conversations, kind of stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure how we delineate that really, because you could kind of make an argument that everybody you talk to, you're doing that with. But I think it's like if you're actually after a particular goal or piece of information, or you've got a specific uh, task in mind that you're trying to achieve, yeah, if it's general conversation in the bar, just kind of getting the feel for people, it's not going to apply. But if you've got a specific thing that you're trying to track down, bit of information, whatever, then we can apply it there. How does that sound?
That works, and it also helps if we're like in the middle of nowhere. Who the heck are you guys? Carl, shut up. We know who you are.
Right. All right, and then Doc. Doc actually has great contacts.
Oh, really?
That's what I
Yeah.
got. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
Are you
contacted.
sure? Are you sure it's not everyone knows Doc?
No, everybody likes that.
Everybody
Everybody
likes
likes
Doc.
Doc. Yeah.
Yeah, my family is good with the children of the goddess of light. That's actually one of his connections.
Okay.
Hmm.
I like that.
In fact, he actually has met the goddess of light.
So if you guys want to divide and conquer, or would you like to just use Carl's aid and assist to give you an additional +1 to your contacts?
I think we probably like to maximize this as much as we can. I think. That might be-
Maximize as in we go all in, or we just try both the balls.
You'll probably have a better chance of getting the information you want, doing the assist, working together, and raising yours to superb.
mhm.
Then one at fair and one at great.
Right.
I mean, on the upside, you're getting 2 opportunities, but they're at a lower level. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Look, at the end of the day, we're all friends here, so let's help each other out.
all right.
Okay.
All right.
So it'll just be a single contacts check for Doc with a +3. So that actually would be a good, right? Because it said +2 on the roll. Should have been +3.
Yeah, so it's like an additional one.
So
I guess.
+1. Excellent. Okay, so as you guys kind of talking around, you are Carl is able to he gets on the good side of one of the seedy bartenders that's working there for some reason, and that leads you to find out that there is a blacksmith in Old Town who has a stable in attached to um, his blacksmith shop. It's on the very very northwest like corner of town, so it's on the road leading out of where you would be leaving if you decide to go north. If you decide to go south, it'd be a different way. But I'm just trying to give you. Oh, did I show you guys the city map? Did I post it?
Yes.
I posted the link. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
basically that little building right under where it says Joe Mon, the northernmost building leading out of the North Road, kind of northwest or whatever. It's that building right there. So it's literally on the edge of town. Um, he he is a very keeps to himself kind of guy, but this person trusts him and has referred other folks who are trying to kind of keep a low profile in town. So this wouldn't be this blacksmith's first time. His name is Jory. Um, and he's not cheap, but he actually has a sort of almost like a safe room that you could hide out in if you wanted to in the stables. It's actually below the stables.
Mhm.
Sounds good to me.
And how long are you guys planning on being in town to sort of to gear up and to figure out what you guys are doing?
Um, hey guys, let's only stay in town for about like 3 days. One day to get situated, one day to buy things, and one day to plan our trip, and then let's get out of here.
That will. Are we like already like in? Oh, yeah, we're not in a room quite yet. We're still trying to get the information, right?
Yeah, this is all conversation you having while you're traveling to the inn. You talk to this guy, and he said, "Hey, talk to Jory." So we'll say you're in between. You haven't talked to Jory yet. You just got his contact information and where he's located, and the secret handshake and all that. So tell
Right.
him. He says,
That
tell him Scab sent you."
scab. Yes, that may be for the best, especially after some information I heard. Things may be getting more complicated than we initially thought.
Great.
All right. So you guys heading over to talk to Jory?
Sounds like a plan.
Mhm.
Sounds like the next step.
All right. Okay, so you guys aren't actually far from there. The tavern's just down the street, around the corner a little ways. So it doesn't take you long to get there. As you arrive at the smithy, it's a fairly bustling. He actually has two or three people working in the shop with him, but it's pretty easy to identify who the boss is. He's about 6'6". He basically kind of looks like Hagrid. Uh, Big bushy hair, big beard. Um, Definitely, just from the short time it takes you as you're approaching, it's kind of an open face to the blacksmith part, and then there's like a little side building next to it, and then it looks like the stables are behind that. So in the open area where the forge is and where they're working, you can see he actually has a couple of forges. He's got three people in there working. As you approach, you can hear him kind of cracking the whip a little bit with his people. Um, so you kind of tell right away he seems to be the guy in charge, and he appears to be working on a rather large piece of metal as you guys are walking up to the smithy.
All right. Well, who wants to talk to the gorilla?
Um,
Doc here seems to be the people's person between the
Yeah,
three
go
of us.
get him, Doc.
This would
Yeah.
probably be a good spot for like persuasion or
Persuasion.
intimidation.
Intimidation. Yeah, I'm going to
I
intimidate the
got-
gorilla.
I'm just saying
I got-
social skills come into play here.
I got fair intimidation and poor persuasion.
I got fair persuasion, but I'm great at intimidation. I will first try to not be a joke to him and use persuasion.
All right.
I am not immediately going to go up and try to intimidate the smithy gorilla.
Yeah,
So
it's like that episode of
The gorilla with the big hammer and the glowing hot iron.
have you seen that episode of Johnny Bravo with the lumberjack? It's like, oh yeah, well, Jiminy Christmas, you're a large man.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Like the lumberjack's like 8 feet tall, and Johnny turns around and it's like, oh, and who's the one? Oh, Jiminy Christmas.
Okay, what do we want this from this guy exactly?
A place to stay.
Don't eat us.
We're looking for a very, I guess, like on the down low, and what will be like good terminology for the type of inn we're trying to find. A very
Discreet.
a more a very discreet inn.
So as you
Okay,
guys
so
are, as you're walking up to him, and Doc, I'm assuming you're in front because you're going to be the one talking to him. As you get
Yeah.
kind of within talking distance, he doesn't even look up. He says, "I'm backed up about 2 weeks, so I don't know if I can help you. And he doesn't even look up. He just says, I'm backed up for 2 weeks. Don't think I can help you. And he just goes back to hammering on his piece of metal. Doesn't even look up from what he's doing.
But tell him why we're here.
Okay. Um, says, what, you don't need some work done?
So, do you guys need anything done? Well, we're not even going to be here that long.
I mean, I'm gonna step forward. Hey, how's it going, guy? Yeah, we need we were told, and given the special handshake, that you had a safe place to stay where eyes weren't so wandering.
What are you talking about? He kind of looks at like just based on that word. He kind of looks over at his guys, and he looks back over at you. He's like, what do you mean?
Eldridge is just standing there with his arm crossed. Just says, Scab says you know where we can go to a discreet inn.
He kind of touches his nose. He looks at his guys. I'll be back in 10. Follow me. And he starts walking. He kind of comes out of the main area and looks like he's starting to want to walk around to the back to the stables. Says, follow me.
Yeah, great job at just yelling that out.
I didn't yell it out. Just plainly
That would
stated.
be hard to call.
He's like, sorry to be so, cryptic back there, but it's kind of a side hustle, and I don't really want my people to know. What kind of keeps it what it is that even my workers don't know about it.
Understandable.
So you're in some heat, and Scab said to come here, huh?
We may likely be having eyes of interested parties on us, and we wish to have a secure meeting spot
Well,
for at least 3 days.
I used to do a bit of smuggling, we'll call it, moving products around without the official okie dokie of the kingdom in my youth. So I had a place to stash things and people when such things would be necessary. It's not going to come cheap. It's that I'm taking a big risk. I don't know what the heck's coming after you or who's looking for you. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. But it is going to cost you. How long are you going to be here?
No longer than 3 days.
So 2 nights?
2 nights. Just tonight and tomorrow night, then we're gone.
He's basically going to need a mediocre amount of payment. I don't have everyone's sheets updated, so I don't remember what the values were on everything.
How much did we get from that temple spelunky? Guess we did get that treasure chest and that sack of rubies.
Well, I got the sack of rubies.
The sack of rubies is a fair amount, and the chest was a good amount, I believe. I'm double checking my notes, but I want to say the rubies were fair, and the chest was good. So yeah, you guys aren't hurting for money right now, for sure. If you wanted to use you could use the rubies because it's under the it's greater than the amount. Actually, they both are, right? Because he said mediocre for all of you for the 2 nights. Hang on, I'm just trying to find my. Come on, I forgot. I'm getting a little foggy, guys. I apologize. I'm on this Robitussin with whatever it's got in it to make you sleepy. The DM. I don't know what it means. DM Max. All I know is I had to show my ID at Target just to buy the damn stuff. Like I'm some kind of
Really?
or something. Yep. at the self checkout. Okay, where was I? Help me, guys. Here, I lost my train of thought.
You was looking at everyone's basically like wealth. Because we were told that
right. Yeah, thank you.
we were going to need like to pay like mediocre for what we wanted.
That's what
Yeah, I was gonna ask Is it a fair amount of rubies, or is each ruby a fair value?
The bag is a fair value of it. I
The
don't
whole,
like. I'm not. I don't like keeping track of individual coins and gems and
the whole
whatnot.
kit and caboodle.
So it's an average approximation to get us in the ballpark so we can do basic transactions, and I don't want to do bookkeeping. So that's, I mean,
Cool.
if at some point the group decides they want to do that, we can break it down into, I mean, basically you just translate everything into silver pieces as the standard, and we can do that. But I've never really liked bookkeeping in games. I just even haggling. It's kind of a role play moment, but I mean, that's kind of assumed that it's not like they had Targets and Walmarts back then. Everything was haggled. Everything was sort of talked about and negotiated. So it's kind of just the way things were done. So I'd like to get through that stuff kind of more quickly and focus on the more exciting stuff personally. But if you guys decide you want to keep closer track of that stuff, I'm totally cool with that. Um, I'm just trying
I
to
was
get
just
to my.
curious.
No, it's all good. I like at least explaining like the mentality of it, so it's not just a arbitrary thing. It's literally just to kind of speed things up. I just got to get to. I can't remember my own dang rule, so I'm embarrassed and I'm looking it up right now. I don't use it that often, so as you know, how many times you have to really worry about buying stuff and all that. So I'm trying to get to my part 4. I think I'm there. Just waiting for it to load now. There we go. Okay. So if the value of the thing you want to buy is less than a lower value, then you make a simple check to determine if the purchase lowers the amount of money you have. So basically, the amount of money you have is your modifier, which was fair, so that's 0. So you make a roll. If your outcome exceeds the value of the item, so if you roll fair or higher, then the value of your money remains the same. If your outcome is equal to or lower than the value of the item, so if it's mediocre lower, then you're able to make the transaction, but the level of the money goes down by 1. Okay, so it would go from fair to mediocre. So basically, just making a check. If you get a fair or higher, it stays the same. If you get a mediocre or lower, it drops 1 level. So go ahead and give me a check versus, I guess it's just versus fair. Carl?
Oh, okay. I was like, I get the roll? Hooray! Oh, I thought I was rolling.
Yeah,
I'm gonna deposit. Did you deposit?
go ahead.
Look at that!
0 across the board.
I'm a 0. Oh, now I'm a sad.
Well, at least you're fair.
Yeah,
That's right.
So it does not go down. Um, I don't know how to truly make something truly average happen, since it was like the same chance of rolling 4 zeros as rolling 4 pluses or 4 minuses.
At this point, it's like Carl was trying to like do beat around the bush haggling, and he just didn't pick up on it.
Right.
Just trying to haggle through small talk, and the guy just engaged in the small talk, and that was it.
Yep, there you go. So okay, so it stays the same. So you're able to get the room. You don't have to lower your money. And let's see, so we are good there. So now you've got a secure place. Basically, he shows you there's one empty stall in the stables, and he's got a bunch of it looks like it's storage for like just some basic boxes and barrels kind of a thing. But he sort of pushes on the boxes and barrels, and they actually roll out of the way towards the back of the stable, revealing a little trap door that you can go into. And then below the stable, there's about a 12 by 15 room, 12 foot by 15 room. And it's got it's just a basic hole in the ground. There's some straw mats, basically, if you want to have them for sleeping. Nothing fancy. But definitely he's gone to some effort to make this a very secretive place to be. His own employees don't even know about it. I have to take a potty break really quick. Is that okay, guys?
Sure, take your
Okay,
time.
so we're taking 5.
Yeah, just give me 5 minutes. I've been holding it for I just don't think I can anymore. So I've been like sitting here like,
Protect
He's
the
gonna
bladder.
blow.
okay,
Protect the bladder.
back teeth are floating. It's time to go.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna put the little thingy on pause. Not that it matters, but it's just I don't get to use the transactions. So boom, I'm gonna do our be right back.
Intermission.
There we go. And just give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'll be right back. Probably kill that video too for the moment.
So, how's everybody doing?
Just pause it.
Well, outside of the
Okay, time to go pee.
outside of the stint very early on in this game, actually pretty all right.
It's good. It's good.
Really starting to consider making this guy an ex-friend because the stuff he needs and wants are starting to intrude a bit too much into my life.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
How's y'all's days been going?
Oh, I've been working on railguns and ramparts today. So, James is actually formatting the light version, and then that's going to be released pretty soon. I have another game that is almost release worthy, and I've been waiting on you to have some free time, Quill. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, so we can do some Ode to Dwarves.
Well, I just got a shitload of free time now because I got moved from a very shitty workplace to a much better workplace. And now so that just freed up a lot of free time. Now it's just more dealing with this guy, and I've been trying to at first I've been trying to hold in my patience because originally he was going to be leaving the army very soon, but then he got his contract extended for a year because something shitty happened in his life as per goddamn usual. And now he's trying desperately to basically go to rehab for his drug problems. And I don't know what the hell is up with this probation officer. To be perfectly goddamn honest, I don't know how anyone could look at this guy and think, he doesn't need to immediately, go over there. He even says he's basically begging to go to rehab. Oh, I just have no idea.
Yeah, I think in the future streams I'll actually be able to get this my webcam up and running.
Get your
You guys
webcam
can
working.
see my ugly face.
That would be
No,
awesome.
not your face.
No, why would you curse us like this?
I'm totally killing your character on Friday.
Jump back to live
You
there.
can't kill him. He's immortal.
He's a monkey. I could kill him. I'll King Kong the shit out of him. Throw a building at him.
Fucking attach him to a table and have some aliens crack his head open, eat his brains.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So I'm full disclosure. I'm not doing great.
You have been coughing a lot. I was.
I'm holding. I've coughed 10% of the time I've wanted to cough. It's been really.
They want to bring that up on stream to be rude.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't find, and it comes up so quick. I was like, oh shit, I can't even mute in time. I got so many windows open. But what I'd like to do is, since we've kind of got we've got our base of operations, you got a safe place to chill. I've assumed that Eldris has informed the others about the two people that.
The plan was that we were going to get a secure location to where Eldris okay, there's no way these guys or anyone affiliated with these guys can listen to what I'm about ready to say. And just tell them about, the rumors that have been spreading that seems to correlate with the demons and finding the orb, and how I saw those two guys that matches the descriptions of the rumors coming out of an alchemy shop and seems to be just casually strolling around the town. That's essentially what my game plan was going to be.
Perfect. Okay. And then for the you guys are going to stay in town for the 3 days. I remember Carl said something about maybe doing a ritual or something to construct something to sort of maybe try to obscure the power of the orb a little bit. Was that something you guys wanted to do while you're here, or?
I was gonna do a ritual that would make the demon. It would like kind of like I don't know how you would do it, but kind of like craft runes on the object. So if a demon or shadow touched it, it would burn them. So hot potato.
I think we can work with that. So basically, it's to repel any negative void energy. That's it, right? Basically, that's the only thing that the runes would harm. Correct?
Yep.
All right.
And before we get into that, considering I'm all about like shadows, sneaky get, and and obfuscation, could I use my sorcery to put on like basically a shadow enchantment on this thing to like not completely mask Esper's, because that would look suspicious, but basically sort of like mask what sort of magic feel you get off of it and like lower down its feeling potency.
Oh.
Just basically like subdue it a little bit.
Yeah. So we're putting basically like two kind of effects on it. You want to we want to do the runes to basically so they can't actually handle it, and then you'd like to
And then I
also
want to like just fuck around with its presence.
to make it seem. Are you
Just
trying?
make it seem like a weaker, different artifact.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're not changing its fingerprint. We're reducing its intensity and its power and trying to make it seem like it's a much lesser.
Just basically seem like, oh yeah, that's a holy artifact, but it's just regular fucking dinky old
Gotcha. That
holy
makes
artifact.
sense.
It's not the orb.
Right, the orb of light. Okay.
Because if I just turn this thing into like a fucking walking void, demons will look at it like, that's suspicious.
Right. So the first effect, since we're diminishing an entity, that does have a great modifier. And the reason I want to kind of get this is the ritual stuff is the more powerful stuff. It's not going to be a flick of the wrist kind of a thing. So it is for great. But the nice thing is, it's because of the effect that Carl wants to put on it. It's just kind of a blast, right? It's just a quick thing. So we'll put it at pour for the actual magnitude of it. I actually know it wouldn't, because you want to do damage. Well, how about instead of, it won't do damage, but what it will do, it will actually physically repel them, so they just can't physically hold on to it.
Just give it a pushback effect.
It literally it almost like a magnet. They go to try to grab it, and it repels itself out of their grasp. They can't get their hands on it. They can't physically
Magnets,
grab
how
it,
do they work?
because that would lower, because pour is a -2, and that would basically negate the diminish entity modifier, making it just a fair difficulty ritual. And obviously, I'm assuming you're going to do it as ritual, because otherwise, if you do it as spell, it raises the difficulty by 1. So it would only be a fair difficulty, which also means it would only be 2 stress, which means you're doing a ritual, so you wouldn't even take any, because 2 stress is a minor stress, so it wouldn't even affect you. Oh, but we're also doing it as you're wanting to do this as sort of a persistent effect, right?
Like, carved runes into it.
Yeah, so that's going to be more permanent. So that does raise it by 1. So actually, it would be good, not fair. Sorry, and it would be a serious stress. So you would have that for a day or 2.
Okay.
So first is the gather check, and it's against good.
Is it sorcery?
Will for the gather.
Yeah, will for gather.
I have +2 will, I believe.
Let me check your. Oh, I forgot to send that over to you.
I got +2 will as well.
Carl has, yes, a great will and a great sorcery.
Okay, so can my associate here help me in this activity?
Since you're both working on this together, it would make sense that you both would give each other a +1, right? Because you're sort of doing
Hmm.
a double whammy on this thing, right?
Is it
So yeah, that would give
a
you a
double ritual whammy?
a double ritual whammy. There you go.
Hmm.
So yeah, that would
Light
give you an
and
additional
shadow working together. I'm not sure how well this goes.
dogs and cats playing together.
Look, it's
uh,
not raining yet. We still got time.
right. No, no, it's not raining frogs yet, so you're good.
Hell has not frozen over yet.
So yeah, you would get a +1 for each of you on your sorcery check.
All right, let's do gather first.
All right, that's a will check versus good.
Ooh, that's a with my +2. That's +4.
Crushed it. All right. Um,
Woof.
that's you got a major success on that, so we're gonna carry that over. Um, so you can reduce. You can either add a +1, an additional +1. You're already getting the +1 from Eldris helping you. You can get an additional +1 from your major success, or you can lower your stress by 1, which would effectively eliminate it because it would make it a minor stress, and you're doing a ritual, so it wouldn't even count.
I will do reduce the stress.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and give me a sorcery check versus great, or versus
That
good.
is
Sorry.
+3. So
Awesome. So you beat it by so you got a +3, +4 to get all together, right?
yes.
That is another major success. So let's. I'm trying to think of a good way that could benefit you. It's not going to be something permanent, but um, let's
Could
say
it?
this. Let's say this. Let's give it an additional effect. It will give them a minor wound when they try to handle it. So they'll be at a
Okay.
-1 for an exchange just for trying to handle it, and then it goes away.
Okay.
So if they
Cool.
try to grab it, it'll basically zap them and repel itself away from them, and they'll take a minor wound if they try to grab it. So that's an additional. We'll give it a little bonus effect there. And then for to obscure it, let me pull up my GM sheet here. There we go. Um, we're diminishing energy, so that's only a fair modifier. If you want to be able to, it's an artifact to sort of try to pass it off as a minor talisman kind of thing. Um, you're gonna probably need to be at like great, but there's no modifier to it, so it will be a great magnitude ritual. But you will also get an additional +1 from Carl for helping you since you helped him.
I helped.
All
So
right, so
it's against great. So the first check is your will check with all your
mhm.
pluses.
All right, so
And you will take a serious stress for this one because it's a
serious stress as
great
well.
magnitude. Yep.
All right. 2 plus the 1, so that's 4.
Awesome. Crushed it. So yeah, it was a normal success on the gather. So go ahead and make your sorcery check to see if you are successful. And then basically what we're doing is we're basically making this thing magically look like a minor talisman kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, I'm basically what should I? Well, I'm probably not going to push it too much. So I'm not going to change it to like have a different magic feel. I just want to diminish its presence so it just seems like a very minor artifact. Just basically change its like magical presence signal into
Perfect.
something just lesser than what it is.
Right. So if someone's detecting aura in the area, it's not going to come off as the orb of light. It's going to come off as a holy symbol from our local church or something.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Basically just something any regular old dinky traveling priest would just keep on his person.
Perfect. Okay. So it'll be a sorcery check versus great.
All right.
Remember the +1 that Carl gives you.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I get 2 from. So I got 2 from my Great sorcery. I get a +1 due to my talent and a +1 from Carl. So
Oh, you just made it.
4.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a 2.
That's a +2. Just made it.
+2.
Got a little scary there. It looked like things weren't going to hold together, but you're able to craft it, and then maybe it's the combination of trying to put 2 effects on this thing at once. But you basically effectively have now cloaked it. And now, if a demon or anything, I should say, just any negative void energy tries to interact with this thing, they will get a zap that'll give them a minor wound. And then they won't be able to physically touch it. It'll repel itself from them like a magnet would do.
And anytime someone tries to magically sense this thing, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, that's not a all powerful god orb.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to step his game up to do any kind of scrying or try to perform prophecy or anything like that to try to figure out where you guys are that way. This is probably assuring that he's going to need to put boots on the ground. You're going to be very, very hard to trace or track magically at this point with not only with the obscurement effect, but then you've got the additional runes on it protecting it. So it's going to be, this is going to make it a lot harder for him to just magically track you down for sure.
Hoovered ops.
So that's gonna I'm kind of hand waving this because I know you guys are only in town for a couple days. Typically with ritual stuff, it takes a certain amount of time to find stuff, and it's a little more drawn out than that. But you guys have already got this planned out, and you got everything else in place. So we'll say that took most of your time.
Yeah, we basically just spent like the night trying to make sure that we're
getting it all
secure.
Together. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And as long as you're keeping a low profile in town, like for running to the store and stuff like that, what I was going to do is just if anybody wants to check before you leave town. First of all, I guess what I'd like to know before we start the next session, do you want to? Is the plan? Let me pull up my map. Is the plan to go straight to Garag and sail out of there, or are you going to Katir first to Karl's Temple, or are you going east? I thought you guys were heading to Doc's land, but I wasn't sure if you were going to Katir first or just sailing out of Garag.
I think we were also going to spend. What was that?
I don't think we can go to where I'm from.
You don't. We can't go to where you're from.
Yeah, remember what my backstory? Remember I told you about my backstory?
But we can go back to the land, right? I mean, I know that it was like a lost culture thing, right? This where you're like
in a world. But we could go to where he's currently staying at.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was getting at. Then that's like your ancestral homeland, right?
But no, where he's staying at while he's on the surface world.
Okay, now I'm confused because I thought we were adding a portion of your ancestral land into the Elysia setting. Was that for a different character? I think I'm thinking of a different character, aren't I?
Yeah,
maybe.
Brain fog. I'm so sorry. You're right. I'm thinking of your other character.
And Monania, Doc, Bran. Frank, what's the name of the bridge?
It was Manaia I was thinking of.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry about that. Okay, but you were from a different region, right? I mean, you were from a lost land, right?
No, he's from the inner world. Is what I'm going with.
Oh, okay. So are you from? So is Doc from this region then, or from another land?
Another land because he's from the inner world of the world.
Oh, right. Gotcha. You know what would be really fun with this new map for this Ethereal is that little island that's in between the two continents.
The middle one.
The Slanesian Empire. I've got to change that name. That was a random thing. I haven't got in there yet.
That's
an awful name.
That's the inner world.
But there's a tiny continent between the two big ones that kind of makes two straights that came basically going around it. And there's a little inlet there. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be cool if that ancestral home, if the access to it was somewhere on this sort of island, or maybe even I was thinking like kind of subtropical or tropical for the land. I think there's some small islands on the south of the. I'm just trying to zoom out. I'm stalling as we talk. Um, if you look to the south of the continent map, there are some. Yep, there's three little scattered islands south of that sort of middle continent. So it could be from there or that inlet. But I was thinking somewhere in that region would be a really cool place to have your to have that character from. Um, and there's a sculpture that they
Well,
put
that
on
could be the entrance to the underworld.
yeah, it's on the very southern tip of the center that center continent that's between the little one between the two big ones. It's at the I don't know if you guys can see it because I'm actually on the map and I'm zooming in to see it. So you might not be able to see the little marker. Let me just see what you guys can see. I'm going to do some printouts of the setting now that we're actually using it a little bit. It'll be subject to change. If you scroll up to I guess it's the second map from the bottom in our little thing here, and you scroll down to the bottom center of that map. Where'd it go? There it is. There's a little statue dude that looks like the Easter Island statue. That's what they use for the icon. So if you scroll to that part of the map where that Slanesian Empire continent is, the very southern end of it, there is a totem there. That would be a great spot to have that because it's kind of isolated. There's not much there. I'm going to kind of make that sort of middle part almost kind of a no man's land between the two. It's not. I haven't fleshed that out yet, but that's what was kind of my idea. And kind of I'm going to make it a lot more inhospitable. But in its past, it could have been a completely different, landscape or whatever. So, what do you think about having it be there?
Having the actual land be there, or the entrance to the inner world be
The
there?
entrance to the inner world.
Entrance.
Okay. Should we also have this island be where Monania people is now?
That could be kind of cool. That'd be kind of make it easier for me.
We can just have it be those little group islands around there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we could definitely do that. So, so that's where we would be sailing to. Sorry, instead of I got Manaia and Doc confused. But if that works, I just wanted to have it like a far off land, kind of involve some travel, and obviously you're going to be out to sea for probably a couple of weeks. It looks like just judging from the distance. So that could be like a fun little almost side part of this. And I'm just imagining demons at sea could be a lot of fun too. If there's any, if they have some way to track you down or find you.
Sea battles.
You mean demonic krakens where the tentacles become heads and it's a hydra kraken? So when you cut off the tentacles, they become new tentacle heads.
Oh my
God! They keep
God.
growing till you kill the hydra.
Oh come on! Don't give them ideas for free.
Right?
That's trademark. That's the hydra kraken. That's mine.
That theory goes back to like my just out of high school days back in like the late 80s, early 90s. I met this dungeon master who was I was just out of high school. He was my age now. He was in his 50s. And he ran this really, really, really fun. It was his own kind of spin on Greyhawk, his own setting. But I was always blown away with no matter what we decided to do, he was always ready to go. Like he never had to really prep much and da. And so I finally asked him one time, like, this was obviously after I wasn't playing with it anymore, and he told me that his secret was, he's like, let your players write your plots for you. If they think something's about to happen, okay, that's about to happen now. Or if they suspect that the bad
Well,
guy
I
is
guess
that,
that's the story now.
I mean, if that's what they're expecting and they're kind of in their minds envisioning, what's the harm in lending it that way, or at least making an option? But he's like, yeah, let your players, because that makes it sort of more collaborative, anyways, and it's also
Yeah,
like,
I was say I guess that just goes more into the idea of DM and player having the give and take relationship, the back and forth.
yeah, I mean, I definitely like the old school feel of the players just focusing on being the characters. But if you've got really cool ideas like that for the setting or for a really cool plot point or a twist or something like that, and it sounds like fun, why don't we just do it? I mean, does it matter that I came up with it or Puffin came up with it or Eldris comes up with it? Or I mean, who cares what it's your guys' collective story. So
Mm-hmm.
I always like that approach. And I think I do like the fact that if you give players, this is the one thing that was, because I grew up in the 80s, late 70s and early 80s, as far as playing Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. The old school approach was very adversarial. It was very much DM versus the players. The GM was out to kill your characters, and you were just trying to survive, and that's why everything was so brutal and like Tomb of Horrors and stuff
Yeah,
like that. It evolved over time, and I much more like. I think it's like that's cool and all, but if
the
I
you
can,
much rather the collaborative storytelling.
well, yeah, because if you're gonna be a player in my game and you're taking time out of your freaking day to make a backstory and make your character fun for you, and I ignore all that shit, that's kind of a dick move to me. It's like why have the
What would
player
be
do
the
all that?
point of it all?
Yeah, why do all that? Then the player never gets to use that shit. So when I do campaign style games, even in some of my episodic stuff, if somebody wants to say they're from some far off remote jungle island somewhere, guess what? There's now a remote jungle island in my setting. And that's where you're from because that's cool and that'll make you care about the game more. You'll care about the characters more and you'll have more fun because you're actually doing shit that matters to your character or at least is
Mm-hmm.
relevant to it. You know what I mean? So that's always been kind of my approach anyway. So anytime anybody has ideas like that and they pop out, yeah, they might find their way into the adventure at some point.
Now, man,
Sometimes you guys are just,
just basically curious how my character's backstory is going to wound up wrapped up in this.
yeah, and I want to spend some time with you on that because I've got some ideas on that. I've got some really good
Okay.
ideas. I can't share all of them with you, but I want to make sure I'm
Yeah,
pointed in
of
the right
course.
direction.
Because as I said, the whole point of the amnesia thing is that I want there to be surprises.
Yeah, so I just need we probably going to use like one conversation to just make sure I'm pointed in the right direction.
Hmm.
And then but then absolutely I've got to, and it ties into this whole meta plot and everything. In fact, the way I'm kind of doing it, it might tie all the characters together in a way, maybe not directly. I don't like direct tying because sometimes that feels a little too
Too forced.
yeah, and like yeah, it's just a little too convenient. But at least if they're indirectly connected in some way, I love that part of it. So yeah, I'll work on
Well, it's
that.
no coincidence that the three quote unquote holy people are still in this group at the moment present.
Yes,
Yeah.
that'll help. So if it's okay with you guys, because I'm kind of running out of gas, but I know what we're
and
doing.
and then
Um,
before James makes Eldris an adoptive father somehow.
right. Carl's uncle. What? This whole time.
Uh,
Oh no.
oh no.
Long lost
Hold
brother.
up.
Carl is
Wait a
your
minute.
uncle.
So I'll work on that. Let's leave things. We have a little bit of untidy business with where you're at currently. So let's go ahead and I can't tell if I'm on the map or if I'm on the uh, picture that I sent you guys of the map, and it's
Ooh,
there we go.
ooh,
Okay,
where am I? Am I
where
here?
am I?
Am
Yeah,
I
I
over
can't. This
here?
isn't moving. What's
I'm
going on?
juking you. I'm
So
juking you. I know I'm juking you guys. I'm juking myself.
Oh no.
So let's
Oh
say
no.
so you've spent the last 2 days preparing the orb for travel, getting all your supplies together, making your plans for. It sounds like we're just heading straight to Garag then, and we're just going to sail right out of Garag, right?
I mean, would we be better off going over to Carl's temple, maybe get like advice from maybe like a more knowledgeable cleric about this whole mess we're getting ourselves into?
Well, let me be fair. If you guys take the time to go to Carl's temple first, I'm not going to waste your time.
Mhm.
I'll make sure that it's fruitful. It'll
Yeah.
take things in a little different direction. I got some ideas on that. But
Because I think by and large we're probably still going to head over, like over there, but it's just like, okay, but do we want to have a precautionary stop along the way?
gotcha. And the difference
Yeah.
is really just a few days, really. I mean, of travel. You're going to save yourself maybe 4 or 5 days by going
Just straight.
straight to Garag than going to Katir first. So if you guys want to do that, then I will make it worth your while to go to Carl's temple, and that can help me fill in some backstory on Carl as well, which would be kind of cool. So if you guys
Give everyone their moment to shine.
exactly, yeah, that'd be cool. So let's do that, and then if we can, if Dusk, if you and I can get together between now and Wednesday, I want to throw some ideas I have on how to tie your character's
Oh yeah.
backstory in.
We could definitely do that. And the new job that I'm working in, I have a lot of free time like during work hours. So
Oh, okay.
if like all else fails, I'll definitely be like on my phone almost like all day.
Oh, perfect.
Say for like very extreme circumstances.